Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike Glover here. This is not a budget build, and neither is she. Although pretty, they're definitely not on budget. Although I did buy this FCJ 75 Series Land Cruiser right-hand drive turbo diesel for about 20 grand. I bought this in Phoenix, Arizona from a guy for 20 grand. Where you start to burn your budget is all the accessories. The bumper, the winch, the lights, the wheels, the suspension, and the list goes on. Hell, these Schillman seats, very beautiful they are, but super expensive. Now, this is the budget build that we're talking about, which is the 99 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. Now, the cool thing about this build is I've had this rig for 23 years and haven't really invested anything into this guy. This vehicle I paid, like 10 grand for back in the day. The first upgrades I did were basically free. It was called removing all the snow. Like the worst snow in the history of the free world we've had here in Utah. You guys have been dealing with that as well. It's called the atmospheric river. Like, what the hell is an atmospheric river? So the first one I did was conveniently for my own company, first aid, survival. This is our mobility pack. I kind of unraveled this so you could see it. You could turn it into a backpack and take it on the go as well. But you could remove quickly all the stuff that you need, readily accessible, and something that you could take on the fly. Also added a maintenance and recovery bag, ropes, shackles, etc. But also decided not to put a rear seat in this guy. You know, I just don't trust it. I don't trust it with my kids, and it's not something that I really want to have my kids in, because they're only 3. I don't want them beating around the vehicle. Now this little guy, God bless our troops, especially our snipers, you can get that from LaRue.com. Is it LaRue.com? Yep, LaRue.com. This is the family rig. This is like the overlanding family rig, and this is just me screwing around in the backcountry. So I went to the Jeep guy in Salt Lake City, Utah, and said, hey man, I want to do a budget build, don't want to spend a crazy amount of money, what do I need to do? So we went through the Jeep, and the first thing was maintenance, but I'll give you the top 3 things that we decided on. Number 1, wheels and tires. So wheels and tires are very important in any build, but we went with Nomad wheels. These wheels are rad. Like, these are beautiful wheels, 15-inch wheels with Pro Comp Extremes. Pro Comp Extremes. These are the MT2s, which is the mud terrain, and I don't really like running mud terrains. I mean, most of my rigs have the AT, but I'm not a big fan of the MTs, because I spend most of my time on road. But this, I told him, I said, hey man, I want to go off-road with my family, but I want to make it a trip. So I actually want to drive there, and then I want to be able to do Moab. And he recommended the tri-ply, right? That's a thicker sidewall, thicker tire in the MT2. I think it complements it well with the Nomad, especially with the spare. Now, this isn't super cheap, but it's necessary, right? If you're getting into an overland build and you want to do a lot of off-roading and you're building a recreational vehicle, but by benefit, you're going to get this bug-out vehicle, then you need to think about these things, right? Invest in the basics. Don't try to invest in an Alu-cab setup if you don't have good wheels and tires, right? Start with the wheels and tires and then move on. So the second thing that we focused on, holy crap, almost busted my butt right there. Oh my gosh. The second thing we focused on is the Curry steering upgrades. Now, there's many upgrades you could do on your Jeep. Like, this has a Rubicon Express, like basic setup. Not a lot of suspension, relatively inexpensive, but we opted for the Curry steering components because, look, steering gets crazy in these rigs when you start lifting them slightly. You know, the stock TJ has a short wheelbase from wheel to wheel. I do have an LJ, a limited Jeep, which is the Wrangler Limited, which extends it 10 inches here and 5 inches in the rear. That's what she said. And when you do that, you have a wider base. This vehicle is known for like doing this and falling over at Moab. I'm not going to rock crawl on this thing, so I don't need to get crazy, but it's also known for having like a death wobble when you start lifting it. So I have a limited slope. Oh my God, my mouth is not working because it's so damn cold. You can see that ice freezing as we speak. a limited slope. Oh my God. What is happening right? I'm having a stroke. A yoke eliminator, a limited yoke. Guys, if you know what I'm trying to say, leave it in the comments below, because my mouth is not working right now because it is freezing as we speak. Oh my gosh. So have the Jeep. So that's number one. That's number two. And finally, without, oh God. Number three, the best top. Look, this best top soft top is super expensive. I think this was like 1,600 bucks. Who the hell would do that? Well, somebody who wants to retain the integrity of this Jeep and not have rats continuing to live in it like this forever. I still have to vacuum this. So I decided to invest in a nice soft top. I thought about going hard top, but I like popping the top on this TJ. And this is the one that has like the tinted window. It's this soft plush fabric. It's super nice and bougie, but I invested in it. This also has the spare tire, which is cool. But all in all, these top three things are like phase one. So what's phase two? Well, phase two is number one, I need a winch, but I'm not gonna get a Warn winch. This Warn winch right here is like top of the line. This is the Xeon 10S, super sexy with the Warn. Oh, this one doesn't have it. This one does. The Factor 55, gotta have that, right? This sexy Warn winch. I even have a Warn winch that originally came on this FJ40 from 1974. That was like the first gen of Warn winches. But I can get like a couple $100 winch from Harbor Freight that will do just as good. I'm not worried about getting this thing stuck, but if I do go out, I'm typically not with people because I'm not really a people person. I like to get away. Look at these mountains in the backdrop of this. You appreciate that, guys? So beautiful. So, also, I haven't upgraded the fuel in this thing. Rotopacks on this, a fuel set up here, a long range fuel set up here. This one already has the Long Range America extended fuel set up here. This thing's got like 10 liters of fuel. So I want to know your opinion for those that Jeep. I certainly am a Jeeper because this is my vehicle that I've owned since I was in my 20s. But do you think I should get the Rotopack here to extend range, or should I get a rack? So the rack would go up here and then like a flat pack of 15-gallon, like a huge tank, but that messes with the center of gravity. I want to know your opinion because those are the next two modifications. Also, I want to do some interior work and see what you guys are doing for rear setups. I'm thinking a box. I'm thinking a drawer system. I'm not going to run passengers here. This is probably going to be like a drawer system, maybe a custom goose gear setup. Carpet on top, Pearl, my dog can sleep on top, and then something that I could load equipment out of, but nothing crazy. I intend to ground camp in this one, bougie camp in this one, and then I just ordered an Alucab setup for this one that's going to be a pop top. I'm not a fan of pop tops, but Alucab does a really good job, where this guy with the heater, I'm super spoiled. Guys, I hope you like these videos. If you like them, subscribe, hit the notification tab, leave your feedback down below, but we're doing more of these. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm doing a bike bug out build, like a motorcycle bug out build. I just put a down deposit on an XR 650L because I think that's the ultimate bug out vehicle. I'm so, dude, I'm sorry. These things are, I'm sorry. I'm super excited about it, and I'm pumped because I want you guys to get into the recreation aspect, but I always want you to think about the contingencies. So if I load this thing out for the fam, I could sustain sustain recreation for 72 hours, then by proxy, by benefit, you're gonna be set up for success and everything else. That's what we're talking about, living your prep life. Guys, I appreciate you. Until next time, peace out.